Art Fisher, Secondary Ed. 741. Final Project Presentation. Design a School of Your Dreams. My future high school, Wounspe Tipi, House of Learning, would open its doors on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, located in the southwest corner of South Dakota. The Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is home of the Oglala Lakota people. The student body within this school, like most within the school systems on the Pine Ridge Reservation, would consist of 92% Native Americans, proud descendants of Red Cloud, Crazy Horse, and Black Elk, as well as other Lakota leaders. Prior to the arrival of Europeans, education was considered relevant, connected to culture and to the universe. The teaching was conducted by nature, the Tiwahe, immediate family, the Taoshpe, extended family, and especially from the life experiences of the elders and other Lakota leaders who affirmed and held their young people to high standards. Oglala Lakota people battled the federal government to maintain this educational system, their way of life. Ironically, education research now supports that good teaching practice for today's youth includes relevance, connections to culture, hold young people to high standards and universe connections. Research also supports the significance of family and community in the education of the child. Similar to the Lakota forefathers' educational beliefs, Wounspe Tipi will include relevance, high standards, and universe connections by following the following vision. Wounspe Tipi will establish an academic environment which explores meaningful cultural connections to standard-based instruction involving engagement in technology as an essential learning tool that prepares teachers and their students for the global digital age. To fulfill this vision, the following curriculum goals have been developed. To engage students in a curriculum which is inclusive of Lakota culture by incorporating a multicultural curricular approach. To make universal connections to local contemporary issues within the Lakota community, therefore by preparing the youth for a global society within the 21st century. To provide academic relevance by connecting historical and contemporary Lakota culture to the state-required standards. To use the state standard-based assessment as a means to monitor and modify classroom instructions. Steps to meet the curriculum goals. Relevance. Relevance includes equity in education. Equity involves components of multicultural education. Banks identifies 5 dimensions of multicultural education: content integration, knowledge construction process, prejudice reduction, equity pedagogy, empowering school culture, and social structure. An empowering school culture and social structure is created when the culture and the organization of the school are transformed in ways that enable students from diverse racial, ethnic, and gender groups to experience equality and equal status. The high school of the future needs to have connections to the South Dakota Department of Education's standardized assessment system. School accountability assessments place high standards on American Indian students of rural, economically disadvantaged Indian reservations. Therefore, the staff and faculty and community at Wounspe Tipi will begin to view standard-based assessments as a means of improving the delivery of curricula for Lakota youth by monitoring teaching and instruction as related to student outcomes. Critically appraise the credibility of high-stakes exams and identify the limitations of these measures for Oglala Lakota learners and to educate the public of these limitations. It is our responsibility as American Indian parents and educators to develop educational settings, formal and informal, where cultural understandings, political, historical, literary, technological, financial, medical, legal, and others are not transmitted accidentally, but by design. Political, historical, literary, financial, medical, and legal pose authentic problems for Lakota people and yet can be interconnected universally. A plan to move Wounspe Tipi towards problem-based learning will be a priority. By doing so, the following faculty development plan will take effect. Learning circles, web-based research articles, blogs, or books for teachers. Creation of web-based portal for staff and faculty to post and dialogue. Professional development will include face-to-face and web-based around topics that will include introduction to problem-based learning, facilitation and coaching, problem-based learning course design, for it is a belief that problem-based learning provides relevance for the learner by including a cultural connection, which is a part of universal connections, which leads to instructional goals. To engage the school in Lakota values and virtues as a means of classroom management and character development. To assist the development of knowledge through differentiated instruction by acknowledging the unique differences of the learner. To engage the school in cooperative learning activities which empower academic and cultural development. To construct school learning through collaborative learning formats, including but not limited to discovery learning, hands-on learning, experiential learning, project-based learning, task-based teaching and learning. To utilize technology as an educational learning tool, as a means to engage children in their learning, and as a means to prepare for the 21st century. As teachers, we need not rob our children the right to learn through experiencing the Lakota virtues and values, for it is these which assist in our coping skills through learning to live. At Wounspe Tipi, the Lakota values and Lakota virtues will have equal representation as the academic or curriculum knowledge. The Lakota values include bravery, fortitude, generosity, and wisdom. The Lakota virtues include courage, respect, humility, patience, and tolerance. The Lakota values and virtues will serve as a form of anticipatory set for classroom management. Some examples may include: teachers begin to devise bulletin boards, collect reading selections and other prompts depicting the Lakota values, identifiable within upcoming units as a means of setting learning success. Discussing expected behavior before a given learning activity using the Lakota values and then following up with conversations related to the virtues encountered during the activity. Tomlinson says, "We often think of students in the classroom as if they were just one student. To maximize the student's possibility of success, we need to disaggregate the student into individual human beings. Therefore, differentiated instruction is looking at learning goals, students' varied readiness, their particular interest, and their modes of learning. Differentiated instruction will involve cooperative learning within Wounspe Tipi. Panitz defines cooperative learning as a methodology chosen by teachers for students to build foundational knowledge, which is based around teacher-led outcomes, typically closed-ended, or having specific answers. Teachers of Wounspe Tipi differentiate instruction through cooperative tiered grouping by assigning students of mixed ability heterogeneous groups, which is determined by the student's readiness level. Cooperative learning at Wounspe Tipi provides students the opportunity to experience diversity and provides the learner practice in using the Lakota virtues and values. Cooperative rather than competitive behavior has assured the survival of the Lakota people. Cooperative behavior is a way of life. According to Reiner, what the literature suggests is that for Indian children from certain groups, public display of knowledge that is not in keeping with the community or group norms may be an unrealistic expectation. It may be an experience that causes Indian children to withdraw and act out the stereotype of the silent Indian child. In contrast to cooperative learning, the teacher of collaborative learning hands over his or her authority and empowers the small groups who are often given more open-ended, complex tasks. According to Wikipedia, collaborative learning has footing in constructivism learning theory. Constructivism theory suggests that learners develop or construct their own knowledge through the examination of their experiences. An example, by making meaning of their own world. Teachers of Wounspe Tipi do not teach solely from objectivist lecturing. Rather than lesson plans, teachers create project plans and are facilitators of learning. They construct learning activities which align with required standards through a collaborative constructivism view by including discovery learning, hands-on experiential learning, project-based learning, and task-based learning. In a technical digital classroom facilitated by the teacher, high school students determine whether they should complete their assignments, which may involve choosing to make collaborative connections with others outside the classroom. Facilitated by the teacher, the following tools are a part of the teacher repertoire at Wounspe Tipi. Social media sites, Facebook, or more specific for kids, Edmo. Chat. Paltalk is free and provides worldwide chat. Social discussion sites, Edmodo. Video conferences for real-time. Cisco WebEx also includes face-to-face conferencing. As facilitated by Wounspe Tipi, students' finished assignments may be completed by one of the following digital formats: videos, slideshows, presentations, wikis, are producing blogs for which they may post online for network audiences. Trust contends that teachers must learn to model connectedness and enable students to develop personal learning networks made up of people and resources from both their physical and virtual worlds. Nussbaum Beach indicates that successful connected educators use blogs, wikis, microblogging, social bookmarking, and social networking are the technologies used by many of the youths today as a means to transform to lead learner. For teachers, Wounspe Tipi will assist in professional development through learning network development by including teacher preparation time for curricular development, learning circles based on books or blogs, creating a web-based portal for teachers to share experiences and to exchange sites and ideas, provide professional development via face-to-face and web-based topics. All of this as a means to assist in the development of teachers' professional learning networks. Using data to make instructional decisions and continually monitoring curriculum and instruction is the vital force which moves schools. Aggregated baseline data will be monitored and will include South Dakota Department of Education School Performance Index, disciplinary referrals, attendance rate, school dropout, and graduation rate. By reviewing school data, schools can reinvent themselves as learning communities and show positive gains. There is very little research about the learning needs of American Indian learners. With over 600 federally recognized tribes, it is impossible to find research related to Oglala Lakota children and their learning within our schools. According to Reiner, Denny, and Hurtado, in accordance with Native American poor performance scores on standardized tests, the federal government should support research that focuses on American Indians, Alaska Natives, Hawaiians, rather than assuming that general research findings taken from studies of whites, blacks, and or Hispanics are equally applicable to Native American students. Wounspe Tipi will include collaborative action in teacher and classroom research as a means of assessment to assist in the learning of Oglala Lakota High School students. Collaborative action research includes staff and faculty examining Wounspe Tipi's assessment data to identify areas that need improvement and then determine a plan of action to improve student performance. Teacher and class action research may include classroom management, research on instructional strategies or material use. Student learning modalities is also something that may be researched. Sustainability. In the traditional Oglala Lakota government, a headman was recognized as a leader by fully living a spiritual existence and demonstrating the values of his people: bravery, fortitude, generosity, and wisdom. Likewise, all members of the Taoshpe, or family, contributed their input, and a collective accord was reached. The process of achieving consensus ensured all the people had a say in decision-making. Transformational leaders gained school support by demonstrating bravery, fortitude, generosity, and wisdom too. They built a Taoshpe, Wounspe, community of learners by encouraging collaboration based around improvement of student learning, heightened by the review of assessment. They encourage teachers to practice distributed leadership when appropriate by staying abreast of what teachers' abilities and potentials are through observation and collaboration. Distributed leadership at Wounspe Tipi consists of team leaders chosen from teachers of the high school disciplines, community organizers, assistant planning and development, and connected coaches are expert voices, those more advanced in certain curricular areas. As the doors open at Wounspe Tipi, it is with hope that meaningful relationships with peers and adults that support the students' academic and social development occurs. As Wounspe Tipi moves forward with the hope that students feel physically and emotionally safe and valued as individuals, and where professional learning and collaboration is fully embedded in the fabric and the culture of this high school. It is with this hope that each student establishes pride in whom they are, and that they are capable of making significant change for their people and others of the universe. As the elders of Lakota thought and philosophy noted many years ago, education involved the expanded experiences of others, and that Lakota nature and the universe were interactive, interrelated forces to think and reflect upon and to learn from. Similar to Lakota thought and philosophy, John Dewey believed education must engage with and expand experience. These methods used to educate must provide for exploration, thinking, and reflection, and that interaction with the environment is necessary for learning. Pulamia, yellow. Thank you.